Okay, so where do we want to go first? Do we want to talk about Alexander Romanov first or Cole Caufield first? You know what? Because in journalism school, we learned that the bigger hot topics go at the beginning of your cast, we're going to talk about Cole Caufield first. And quite frankly, yeah, it's not really a great update on Caufield. Now, the Wisconsin Badgers do indeed play later today, December 3rd. They're going to be kicking off a back-to-back, as the Badgers usually do in the NCAA, because that's what the teams do when they play college hockey. They're playing Ohio State today and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. Who knows where exactly the streams are going to be? Last time we saw the streams actually be available on RDS on the TV. So for those of you in Montreal who are looking for Cole Caufield, Wisconsin Badgers stuff, it was right there on the TV, but aside from that, Fox Sports Wisconsin, I believe, has it. And then, of course, there are the other streams that you can go on that I will not endorse because they're not legal, but they do exist. However, Caufield is not a guy who has exhibited the best fate recently, because in the most recent back-to-back against Arizona State on Saturday and Sunday, the Badgers completely done goofed. So Cole Caufield was out here, and everybody was like, okay, the Badgers are shorthanded. They're playing without like 3 forwards. They're only dressing 9 guys up front, and they're playing Arizona State, who is one of the worst teams in the NCAA. We're expecting Cole Caufield to go out there with a boatload of ice time and absolutely tear the roof off. Well, that didn't happen. The Badgers lost 8-5 on the first game and 3-1 on the second game. The first game saw the Arizona State University, I believe it's the Sun Devils? I believe that. ASU. Let's Google that right now. Arizona State University Sun Devils. That's exactly what it is. Yes. The Sun Devils ended up taking their first 2-goal lead in the entire NCAA season in this game, and they absolutely rallied. I believe it was like 5 or 6 straight goals that Arizona State scored. The goaltender got pulled for Wisconsin. It was not pretty. Cole Caufield eventually was on the ice a little bit towards the end. He was kind of benched a little bit beforehand, but he didn't end up getting any points. He was looking good, though. I mean, he had some very nice opportunities. He did a few dipsy doodles and all that, just could not buy a goal. In the second game, though, when the Badgers lost 3-1, we saw Cole Caufield actually take down a man. And this was funny because everybody was like, yo, Cole Caufield just did a full-on power forward move, Eric Lindros style, where he took the puck himself, he skated with it, he was approached by a guy, boom, he knocks him over. Well, hold your horses, because the guy that he knocked over is actually Sean Doogie, who, if you know the Wisconsin Badgers from last season, was actually a Badger in 2019. However, Sean Doogie is only 5'3", which is like an action figure's height less than Cole Caufield. So Caufield was able to come over here with a guy who's smaller than him, believe it or not, and knock him over. So anybody who's looking at the context can say, yeah, okay, it's cool that Caufield bodied a guy, but the guy that he bodied was smaller than him. He was my height. I'm 5'3", and like, I'm a pretty small guy in general. So even though it's cool to see Caufield doing that, I don't really know the long-term projectability of that. We did see a few more Caufield dipsy doodles and all that, though, as well. He did perform very well. It's just that he didn't get any points, which is unfortunate to see, because Cole Caufield is now, if you take a look at the overall numbers to his season, yeah, he's no longer over a point per game. In fact, he is down there at 8 points in 8 games, which brings him to a point per game, but he was over a point per game 2 games ago. So by the time today's game against Ohio State goes on, hopefully we'll see Caufield get on the board at least once. Goals or assists, who knows? And then they play again tomorrow as well. So that's our Cole Caufield update. I know some people are probably like, okay, why did you miss the Caufield update last time? Well, it's because there wasn't really much to talk about. The guy absolutely got robbed a few times, and the Sun Devils came out there and absolutely whooped the Badgers. So next up, we're talking about Alexander Romanov, because I'm recording this video on December 2nd. If you take a look at an article posted onto NHL.com, December 1st by John Lane, we have ourselves a few very interesting comments from Luke Richardson, the Habs assistant coach, on Alexander Romanov. Let's go over to this article and take a look at what Richardson has to say. Obviously, we have to let Romanov have a chance to come in and earn that spot and prove it, but it's there for him to do that. We've evaluated players before, and you've seen them come out of the World Juniors as stars, and they do very well in the NHL. So we're expecting nothing less than that for Alexander Romanov. Romanov has that electricity in his game, according to Richardson, that was put on display full blast at the 2019 World Juniors. That is where he absolutely went on the radar. Everybody kind of remembers this. Romanov, after getting drafted in 2018 out of nowhere because nobody really knew where this guy was coming from. He was an MHL guy, he played at the U18s, but he went in the second round when he really was supposed to go much, much later than that. Look at this, 179th by future considerations back at that 2018 draft. Oof. Well, at the 2019 World Juniors, he showed himself off over a point per game. Habs fans absolutely loved it. He had 12 penalty minutes. He showed off the feisty side in his game, while also being a very productive defenseman, one of the best defenders on the team, and it's why he got all the awards. The All-Star team, the best D-man, the most assists, the most points by a D-man. He was great. And then we saw him develop in the KHL after that. He didn't get any points in the KHL, but it's whatever. He's an 18, 19-year-old D-man playing in the top pro men's league in Russia for CSKA Moscow of all teams. You're not going to expect this kind of guy to get a whole bunch of points. But at the World Juniors, he still showed himself off well, and even when he was playing in the KHL, he was a minutes-eating top 4 caliber defenseman some nights. Let's go over onto the few other comments that Richardson has about Romanov. He's a very excitable player, exciting to watch. He plays with a passion and excitement. That's always fun, and that'll look really great on a Saturday night in the Bell Center. Oh man, I love that imagery, man. I'm just kind of thinking about what it would be like to actually have everybody back, mRNA comes out with the vaccine, or PFE comes out with the vaccine. By this time, in a few months, everybody's packed into the Bell Center. It's a Saturday night, everybody's cheering. It's 2-2 with 5 minutes left in the third period against Toronto. And all of a sudden, Romanov goes out there and he lays a big hit, outlet pass over, up to Nick Suzuki, sends it over to Toffoli, he shoots and he scores. Oh my gosh, that feels like a dream. Come on, mRNA, PFE, get that vaccine out quickly. Let's go over onto some more comments over here. If he is that good, wherein he is able to start with our team, he'll be a second pairing D-man before you know it, Claude Julien says. But I think we'll allow him to develop and gain some experience at a comfortable pace and allow him to showcase what he's able to do. So even though he may be good enough to play top 4 with the Habs this year, we'll allow him to ease himself into that role. We're not going to thrust him in there right away, but if he's able to do it, he's able to do it, and we'll give it to him. Oh, Claude Julien, you're giving us so much to be hopeful for. Maybe this top 4 D-core for the Canadiens doesn't even look like Sherratt, Weber, Edmondson, Petrie. Maybe it's Sherratt, Weber, Romanov, Petrie. Ooh, that's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Imagine having that Joel Edmondson on the third pairing playing alongside of a Mete or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. He's a very confident individual who knows where he's going to be once the season starts. This is a guy who can surprise a lot of people just because he's got those attributes, but he also has the confidence to go with it. So he may be pushing a lot of people before you know it. I think we kind of need to see it, Richardson said. It might take a little bit of time, a little bit of not trial and error, but trials, just like tests here and there, and seeing what works best. I think physically, Romanov does a really good job with his stick and then his body at separating people from the puck, and I think that's really going to help him get more ice time with whoever. We're not worried about him physically against a big, strong line. Not at all. I think he'll be fine there. He's going to surprise a lot of people physically, and you'll see that, I'm sure, early in the season when people that don't know him so well will be on their backside in our zone, which is a great thing for us. And man, if I was not hyped up for Alexander Romanov a week ago, I certainly am now after hearing the comments from Richardson and Julien. This whole time I was kind of telling you, I was like, yeah, this guy probably could be NHL ready. He probably could suit up and play 50, 60 games in the NHL, no sweat. But to finally hear it coming out of the coaches' mouths, be like, yeah, this guy could probably be top 4 already. We're not going to throw him there just yet, but if he works for it and he gets it, he'll get it. Oh, I love the sound of that, man. Absolutely love it. Just kind of sucks that this guy wasn't able to play in the postseason last year, or not even last year, it was a month ago. The weird timelines of 2020 certainly is fun to talk about, eh? But Yeah, you know, a lot of the Habs are used to it. They've been practicing with this guy. He was over there doing his thing. But now in 2020, 2021, or maybe even just 2021, we're going to be seeing Romanov hopefully crack a top 4 spot. I want to see this guy with Petrie, man. That is the dream. So talk to me in the comments what you think about Cole Caufield. He's got a game later today and a game later tomorrow. And Alexander Romanov. Hope you enjoyed this video. So that's Rose 99. And bye.